What's up, it's Mike, and I gotta be honest, I'm a huge fan of water. One could even say it's my favorite drink. Recently, it's been getting a bit stale for me, however, but I still really enjoy the taste. So to spice things up, over here, I got some pepper water. The main ingredients, you ask? Pepper and water. Let's give it a taste. Tastes great. Let me hit you with an imaginary situation. You're a big video game company, and you just released the best video game that has ever been made. What do you do to follow up on that? Do you A, give up, B, say something about Metroid Prime 4, or C, create a direct sequel that expands on the old game while throwing in a bunch of new ideas but also sticking to the core of what made the first game so great? Ooh, it has to be A. Or else do you think I've been this whole time? Well, let me let you in on a little secret. That imaginary situation? Yeah, that actually happened. To a little known company called Nintendo after the release of Super Mario Galaxy for the Nintendo Wii in 2007. Right after development concluded, Mr. Video Games himself, Shigeru Miyamoto, suggested that the team work on a follow-up. They weren't planning on doing anything nuts, just add on a couple of things to the original game, even to the point where it was codenamed Super Mario Galaxy More in development. Eventually though, the developers found out they had an interesting problem. That problem being they actually had way too many new ideas. So, instead of just making a small add-on to the original Galaxy, they decided to flesh out their ideas into an even more fully fledged sequel, which was first revealed to the public in June at E3 2009 as Super Mario Galaxy 2. And oh boy, let me tell you, this is the most Super Mario Galaxy 2 thing out there. Nothing out Super Mario Galaxy 2, Super Mario Galaxy 2. So a direct sequel to the best game ever made, huh? Well, I have faith. Sequels are usually better than the originals. Just look at Donkey Kong Jr. and Donkey Kong Jr. Math. I'm learning. Well, the first mark of a good Mario sequel is its story, because everyone knows Mario is known for its complex continuity, so let's look at that first. Funnily enough though, this game actually has no continuity whatsoever, as the beginning of the game starts off with a retelling of sorts of the original game's story through this storybook style. While I really like how this beginning is presented, I'm actually a little disappointed that they essentially wiped the first game out of existence story-wise. It is said in an interview that Miyamoto expressed his wishes that the game have less of a focus on the plot, which makes sense. It is Mario after all. I personally don't agree though, as I love the darker direction and atmosphere that Galaxy 1 had, especially with Rosalina's storybook. But this game, again, acts like the first one never happened, and starts off with a giant Bowser stealing Peach and laying the Mushroom Kingdom in ruin. You can tell the lighter tone that Super Mario Galaxy 2 has throughout almost the entire game, and it's especially obvious here. The first game's intro cinematic took itself a lot more seriously, and I kind of like that more. It sounds like I'm complaining a lot. Trust me, I am. But in reality, it's the story of a Mario game, so it doesn't have that much of an impact on the overall experience. Now, let's get to the rest of that experience, and I can literally summarize it in, let's see, about one sentence. That sentence being, if you've played the first Super Mario Galaxy, then you've played this game too. And that's all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye, everybody. I'm just kidding, I'll talk a little bit more. Well, that was partially a joke. Super Mario Galaxy 2 is extremely similar to Super Mario Galaxy in a ton of ways. The physics are the exact same from what I can tell, and a lot of enemies and assets were used from the first game as well. It's basically in the same vein as Zelda Ocarina of Time and Zelda Majora's Mask, where they both had a very similar look and feel, although I'd argue they're way more different from each other than Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are. Another thing that hasn't changed at all is the quality of the soundtrack. I would say nothing in this soundtrack gets close to the peaks of the first game's soundtrack. Gusty Guardian Galaxy. But that doesn't mean there aren't some bangers for your ears to love. Some of my particular favorites include Another Story, The Starship Sails, Bowser's Galaxy Generator, and Finally, my favorite song in the whole game, Cloudy Court Galaxy. Is it my favorite song because it's the closest sounding to Gusty Garden Galaxy? Yes. Anyways, Galaxy 2 does take a lot from Galaxy 1, and even though that could sound like a bad thing, it really isn't. It helps contribute to Super Mario Galaxy 2's amazing look, especially for a Wii game. Galaxy 2 also generally brightens things up compared to the original, and I think it's a look that has held up slightly better over time than Galaxy 1's darker thematic. For example, the majority of skyboxes in Super Mario Galaxy, or the backgrounds of stages, were usually just a black or very dark sky with stars scattered about, while in Galaxy 2 it's blue skies as far as the eye can see. You can tell the stark difference straight from the beginning of the games. Is the difference in look between the two Galaxy games a personal preference thing? Of course, can't you see I hate the color blue? So Galaxy 2 and Galaxy 1 have a lot in common. So do me and my child, Big Whoop. But what are the actual differences between the two? None that I can tell. There's actually quite a few differences to be fair, with a couple of those being the new hub world and the new world map. Let's look at the world map first, and I gotta be honest, it's just okay. It gets the job done and nothing more. I preferred the different rooms of the Cosmic Observatory and the additional atmosphere those gave off, although I will say the world map is definitely a bit more efficient. It works like, and every gaming reviewer say it with me, the world map from Super Mario Bros. 3.
There it is!
Next up is the new hub world, aka Starship Mario, which is just a giant replica of Mario's face. No, I'm no rocket scientist, but something tells me the design of this starship isn't exactly aerodynamic. I was right! Minus that little factoid, this little planetoid is also just okay. In the same way as the world map, I prefer the atmosphere that the Cosmic Observatory had. And I also had a lot more fun exploring the Cosmic Observatory than Starship Mario due to just how much bigger the observatory felt. I should stress though that Starship Mario is not a bad hub world, not by any means. There's still stuff to do and things to explore, just not to the extent of the first game. There's some other new stuff at play here, like the new comet medals, and they're reminiscent of something like the star coins from the new Super Mario Bros. Series. There's one of them to collect per galaxy, and I would say for the most part, some of them are tricky, but most of them are easily gained just by doing a little exploration. Now, why do you collect them? To improve the Mushroom Kingdom economy? In the first Galaxy game, after you collected enough stars, prankster comets would start to fall in random galaxies, which would slightly change up said galaxy, doing things such as turning a level into a time trial or into a race against a cosmic Mario. In Super Mario Galaxy 2, however, once you collect a comet medal in a galaxy, eventually a comet will appear over said galaxy, and the mix-ups are much more varied in this game. Overall, I really like the addition of comet medals, as they're relatively fun to search for and help streamline the whole comet system. The final big major addition that's heavily marketed about the game and is splashed everywhere someone talks about the game is the introduction of Yoshi. And it's cool? You can only really use him for one stage at a time, and his use in levels essentially boils down to just being able to swallow and spit out projectiles and the ability to pull things with his tongue. Is Yoshi a bad addition? No, not in the slightest, but I wish you could do a little bit more with him considering how much he was emphasized when discussing and marketing the game. I mean, just look at the cover art. So considering my overall thoughts on Super Mario Galaxy 2, I'll repeat the same thing that I said about 1,012 words ago. That being said, if you played the first Super Mario Galaxy, then you've played this one too. Is that a bad thing? I think not, as Super Mario Galaxy is definitely worth a second playthrough. And while I did criticize Super Mario Galaxy 2 a lot, I still think it's easily one of the best Wii games you could possibly play. The addition of the world map and Yoshi are great, but not anything life-changing. So if you were already not that into the original Super Mario Galaxy, then unfortunately this game won't interest you either. But if you loved the first game, then a little bit more Super Mario Galaxy hasn't hurt anybody. I would say that's everything I have to talk about Super Mario Galaxy 2. But there's one big thing I didn't mention. So, after every level, instead of asking if you want to save your game and make you go through an entire menu just like Super Mario Galaxy 1 did, in Super Mario Galaxy 2, it just quickly saves your game and you just get right back into it. No menus required. 10 out of 10.
There it is again!